About 3,000 years into the future, maybe less, maybe 300 years into the future, the Earth is totally polluted. Man does pretty much destroy the Earth. And there are a special people who live in a dome that keeps the pollution out, keeps the riffraff out. They grow their food there. They have oxygen there. They have law and order. The outside of the dome is the Badlands. No law and order. It's just, martial law. You do whatever you want. There is no law. And there's no good air to breathe. People die young. And there's not a lot of resources, not a lot of food, not a lot of gas, not a lot of anything. There's just enough to get by. But there's also no weapons. You need bullets. You need a place to make bullets. The weapons they have to use are knives and bow and arrows. So they've gone backwards. The people in the dome, of course, have weapons, stock supplies of them. And there might be a few on the outside that have some weapons that they've stored for the 300 years. Very few. Most of them have used their weapons to defend their food or defend their family or whatever they got them for. And they've lost their use. So unless there's some hidden in the Badlands somewhere, no one really has any deadly weapons except knives and bows and arrows, that sort of thing. But in the Badlands lives a woman, and she is prophesized in a book to set the people free from the dome. That somehow she's going to be able to open the dome up to everyone, and everyone can get in it that's on the outside, and the people on the inside of the dome who've kept them out all these years have to leave it. And no one believes that prophecy. It was like a book, like I'm writing right now. No one believes it. It's a fairy tale. It's fiction. This dome is unpenetratable. None of the Badland people are ever going to get in and be rescued. But for some reason, when she was born with the tattoo, or not. It wasn't a tattoo, but it was a birthmark. And it was a birthmark that could clearly be seen as 307. And it was a 307. It was a birthmark. She couldn't get rid of it. And neither could her mother. But it got around to the dome people that a child had been born with that number on it. And in that book, or that prophecy, the 307 child, that's what the name of the child would be that would come and rescue people from the Badlands and get them into the dome. So the people in the dome were looking for a person with 307 once they found out. They heard rumors about that. And so the ones that were looking for her were on the outside of the dome. They knew she wasn't going to come from inside. And what happened was, actually, she was born on the inside. Let me change the story a little bit. She was born on the inside. They found out, and her mother escaped with her out of the dome into the Badlands, where a kind male took care of them and kept them alive for 10 years through a lot of struggles. But he was very talented and skilled to hiding and at providing food for them despite the scarce conditions of the Badlands. And he was just a very capable man, and he was worthy of working with them because they were pretty special. I mean, 307, and he saves them, takes care of them for 20 years. Again, all of this prophecy is in the book, so they know what they're looking for. They're looking for that girl who has escaped with her baby in the Badlands. So they do send out soldiers. They've got guns, they've got weapons. They send out their soldiers and their robots to find her. And they don't. They get close lots of times. Okay, so that's part of the movie. They get close. They almost get her. They don't get her. And the mom falls in love with the man that's been protecting them, and they do get married. And then they end up getting killed. And so the girl's on her own. She's 20 years old though now. She's not a baby, and she's learned a lot from her stepfather. And she has developed a lot of really good skills. And but now she has to come out of her hiding, and when she does that, she meets a boy who says, "Look, you're 307. You're not just supposed to be hiding." And she goes, "But that's what my parents taught me, because her parents didn't care what people thought. I don't care if she's at 307, 309. I'm not going to let my daughter go to war and go try to break down the dome." And so this guy's like, "No, you need to do what you were told to do. What you're called to do, what your number says you're going to do." So, he gets a group of, by that time, a lot of the people that were looking for him have quit looking for him. This never happened. We'll keep our ears and eyes open, but this hasn't happened. And so her and this boy, they start to travel and get a band of about 200 people. And that's a lot for the Badlands, because most people are basically falling apart. But her and him get the 200 people together, and they make a plan of attack on the dome. It's not going to kill anyone. They don't want to kill anyone. So one of the things they learned is life is valuable. Life is precious. You don't take a life unless you plan to eat it. And those are the kind of people she works with. The bad guys, don't join her cause. They would just as soon kill her and eat her. That's how they are. But there are some good people still left in the Badlands that don't believe in killing. They want to just have some fresh air. So what happens is they have found a secret under the under tunnel to the dome, and they infiltrate themselves inside. And one of the things they find out, in order to fit in at the dome, her parents had taught her, if you ever go to the dome, there's certain things you have to do to fit in so nobody will notice you're from, the Outlanders. So they find a way into the dome, and they find a way to fit in. Not all 200 of them. The rest are waiting outside. Just her and the boy. They fit in. They go in, and they fit in. They were able to gather a few things. And they're able to find her grandparents, who are in prison in the dome. They actually let them stay in the dome. And prison in the dome is really nice. It just meant they can't go wandering around within the dome. And the dome's huge. It's about, must be 300 miles long and 300 miles wide. And the thing about the dome, it's there to keep, it's like a filtration around an area. It's not really a glass ball. It's a filtration system, and it filters out gases and sunlight that's dangerous and those kind of things. It filters them out. It also is an electrical field that you wouldn't want to touch. You would just blow up, okay? So that's how the dome works. It's not necessarily a glass cage. So that's something I should have cleared up. So her and the boy finally get in there, and they find the grandparents in prison. And she doesn't help them escape or anything like that. She just tells them who she is. And they go, "We've been waiting for you. You're 307. She goes, I don't know what that means, and I don't know how I'm supposed to do all this, but I'm going to do whatever I can. I want to help the Outlanders get some fresh air. This is wonderful being able to breathe this air. So nice to just breathe in and breathe out. And the food. Oh my gosh, you guys have such great food. And so the next step was finding the main, what do you call those people? The main people who run the dome on the inside and talk to them, because they've been programmed to believe the Outlanders are all bad. They're all outlaws, and they're all going to kill them. So she tells them, we're not. We just need some fresh air and some food. Can you help us? And so she gets some of those guys on her side, not all of them. And in the end, she's able to take down the dome, get people in, the Outlanders in, and close it up. And they all take year turns, year sabbaticals. So she gets it so that everybody gets a year in the dome, and then they go out. And then they come back in a year later. Everybody gets a turn. And everybody gets a year of food and all that. And depending on the kind of work you do, like if you work, and your work is necessary for the dome, you can stay in the dome permanently. So there's different things that happen with that. And I'm not done writing the book, but that's those are the ideas. Okay, see ya.